Hi, I'm going to show you how to hook up your Squarespace site and your Convertkit list. So we're going to make a form on Squarespace that signs people up to your email list in Convertkit. So here I am, I'm logged in to my Squarespace site and I've clicked on the page that I want to make the form on. And now I'm going to go into Edit. And I'm going to create a block called a code block. It's a special kind of block that I can put code in. And now I'm going to go over to Convertkit and I'm going to get that code. And the code's going to be for the actual sign up form. So here is the page I land on when I log into Convertkit. I'm going to go here and I'm going to hit Create Form. And I can choose between a landing page and a form. I can change my mind later in the process. And then I have these three options. They call this minimal. I don't remember the name for this. And they call this naked. I want you to notice that on minimal, there is no field for name. So if it's important to you to have people's first name for your email list, so you can say, hey, Joanne, how's it going? Then you're going to not want to choose this first one. This second one here, it's pretty cool that you already have all the formatting in there and they make it really easy to upload the picture if you've got a freebie. That is a really nice feature, but you end up with these big, ugly blue bars and you're going to end up with this blue button no matter what you choose. But if you're not comfortable with CSS or with deleting parts of the code, then I would skip that one too and just make all this stuff in Squarespace itself. So I usually choose option 3, naked, and this is what it looks like. It's just the basics. So they give you a little preview and then you need to click over here on settings. Now in settings, you get to choose the form name. This does not show up in Squarespace. This is for your reference on Convertkit. And this is where you get to choose again if you change your mind about the landing page. We're just going to stick to a form for this tutorial. When a user hits that subscribe button, you get to choose, does it just show a success message or do you get redirected to another page? And that might be a little bit out of scope for now, but a great thing to think about in the future is to have a, hey, thanks for signing up. Did you know I also offer, say, a free discovery call or this really cool mini course that I just made or something like that. So it's a good time to, now that you've warmed up that lead, to show them what else you can offer them because they're obviously interested in you. They've just signed up for your newsletter. So that's probably something you'll do at a later date. Right now, you just want to get your form working. And down here, this probably also is for a later date, but sequence settings is what Convertkit calls their email funnel. So if you want to have someone sign up and then 2 days later they get this particular email from you and then 5 days later they get this other email from you and you want to start them on a sequence, this is where you would hook that funnel up to your sign up form. So this doesn't create the funnel. To create the funnel, you have to go up to sequences and actually create that sequence. It's pretty straightforward in Convertkit. And then here in the form on your Squarespace site, or the form that goes on your Squarespace site, this is where you would choose that sequence. I only have one funnel set up at the moment. So we've got those main settings. Down here in incentive email. So if you have a lead magnet, also called an opt-in freebie, you're going to want to make sure to come into this section, scroll down, and then once they confirm their subscription, so this is, the default is a double opt-in, and that's a great idea because then you have a high quality list rather than a bloated list. You're going to choose either the URL of where you're going to send them to get that freebie, or you can actually upload that file if you choose incentive download. Now we're going to go over here to style. And here, so there's options again. You can do full, minimal, or naked. And you also have some pretty cool options here. You can make your sign up box pop up. And if you choose that, you can actually come down here and choose exit intent. So now pop-ups are pretty controversial because you are interrupting your user. And I personally think interrupting is always rude, but they are also very high converting, these pop-ups. So a nice compromise is when you know they're done with whatever they came here for and they're leaving, when they show that intent to leave, then it pops up. And then it's not quite so rude. It's more like, hey, on your way out, I just wanted to let you know you can also have, and the other options here are when they've scrolled a certain amount down the page, so they've already gotten a sense of you and what you offer before you go, hey, sign up for me. Don't you want me in your inbox all the time? Or timing. So they've been on your page for a few seconds, they've had a chance to look around, and then you interrupt. And again, with slide in, you don't get the exit intent option, but you can say, okay, wait till they've gotten a certain amount down the page, or wait a certain amount of time. These two are a little bit hard to preview on Squarespace because you have to actually do the action to make them show up. So for now, we're just gonna stick with inline. And this is a nice option here to hide the form to a returning visitor who has already subscribed. It's always good to take stuff off your page if you don't need it, if it's no longer relevant to them. But this also makes it hard for you to see what's on your page because it's going to hide it from you too. So we're going to keep it at continue to show the form. And now here's where we get our code. We go into embed, and JavaScript is definitely the least amount of code you would have to look at, but Squarespace freaks out a little bit and doesn't let you preview it in your logged in state in Squarespace. WordPress obviously is not an option, so I go with raw HTML. So we'll copy that. When you click on it, it highlights all of it, so you don't need to do that. And we'll go back to our code block, and we'll paste that in. And then you can see, ta-da! It's just shown up. But it's shown up with a big, ugly blue button. So what I like to do to get rid of the blue button, because this is not, you're not going to be able to access this from the style editor within Squarespace. So what I do is I go through here and I look for CK subscribe button. There it is. Button. You can just search for button in there. And I'm going to get rid of that ugly blue background. And I'm going to get rid of the text color rule. And then it will just pick up my default style. So it will automatically match my other styling. So I like that. And then I'm going to hit save. And then you should always test when you've done something like this. But if you test in your logged in state, it's going to get a little bit confused. So now I'm going to go on to my public facing logged out of Squarespace page. So it's your normal domain name, not this crazy long thing. And then I can test it. I'll hit subscribe and I get my success message. Yay! And now I need to go into my email and make sure I can confirm and everything is working great. So I hope that was helpful. If you're curious, I've got an entire course like this where I take you through Squarespace and WordPress setup, all the nuts and bolts. And I also talk a lot about branding and copy and how to really get a sense of what you're really trying to say and who you're trying to say it to. So check that out too if you want. All right, thanks for watching.